Are you feeling trapped? Like no matter how hard you try to break free, you're still being held back by invisible ropes. Maybe you think it's your circumstances, your fears, or your doubts. But what if I told you that most of these ropes are not real at all? That your mind, just like mine and everybody else's, is tricking you into believing in a cage that doesn't exist. Intrigued? Let me take you on a journey of realization and awakening as we explore a simple story of a washerman, his donkey, and imaginary ropes. But behind this simple tale lies one of the deepest truths of life, drawn from the heart of Advaita Vedanta as we explore the illusion of bondage, the reality of freedom, and a profound truth about our own life. Once upon a time, in a small village on the banks of a river, lived a humble washerman. Every morning he would rise with the sun, load his donkey with heaps of dirty clothes, and take him down to the river to do his work. The donkey was his loyal companion, and every day the washerman would tie him to a nearby tree to ensure that he didn't wander off. But one day something unusual happened as when he reached to the river bank, he realized he had forgotten his rope. It was getting late and there was no time to find another rope. So the washerman began to worry. What to do now? If I don't tie the donkey to the tree, it will surely run away. As he was still lost in thought, a wise man passed him. What troubles you, my friend? He asked. The washerman explained his problem, and the wise man smiled knowingly because, like all wise men, he had seen the world. There is no need to worry. Simply act as if you're tying the donkey with the rope. Pretend as if you're going through the motions, and the donkey will believe that it is tied up. The washerman was skeptical, but he had nothing to lose. So he took the donkey to the tree and went through the motions, mimicking as if he was tying the donkey to the tree, looping a rope around his neck and putting it on the tree and tying it there. Wonder, wonder, to his amazement, the donkey simply stayed there, believing that it had been tied. And all day he did his work. The donkey didn't budge an inch. The day was saved. But wait, there is more to the story. As the sun set, the washerman readied to go back, so he headed back to the donkey, took the clean clothes, and tried to move the donkey, but it still wouldn't move. He pushed, he tugged, he coaxed, but the donkey wouldn't move an inch. It stubbornly put in its hoofs and resisted. The washerman was puzzled. The donkey was obviously not tied to anything. Why wasn't it moving? In desperation, the washerman tried looking for the wise man again, and to his good luck, he found him just a short distance away, huffing and puffing. The washerman asked, I don't believe it. I have to go home, and this stupid donkey is not moving. It is acting as if it's still tied to that tree. What should I do? The wise man chuckled and he said gently, Ah, you know there is no rope, but the donkey, it still believes it's tied up. So now go back and do the motions of untying the rope, just like you did the motions of tying the rope. Again, the washerman followed the wise man's advice, went back to the donkey, and acted as if untying the invisible rope. And like a magic spell had been lifted, as soon as he untied the invisible knot, the donkey lifted its head and started walking. Now let's pause here for a moment. Isn't this simple story remarkable? On the surface, it's a simple children's tale about a donkey and an invisible rope. But when we dig deeper, it really is a mirror towards our own lives. How many of us are just like that donkey, bound not by real ropes, but by imaginary ones of fear, doubt, insecurity, and attachment? We may not see these ropes, but they feel so real to us, don't they? And they keep us stuck in a place, not allowing us to move forward and not allowing us to experience true freedom. In Advaita Vedanta, this is ignorance, avidya, and this is the web of Maya. In reality, we are free. Our essence is pure consciousness, untouched and unaffected by anything. But just like the donkey, we feel we are bound by our mind, by the world, and by our limited identities. The ropes are the illusions which we have created of our body, of our mind, of the past, of external circumstances. But there is no rope, so how can there ever be a bondage? The washerman's donkey could have walked any moment it chose, but it didn't. It truly believed that it was tied down because of years of habit, just like we believe that we are bound by this identification with the ego and the limitations of the world. And the truly fascinating part is that when the washerman himself wanted the donkey to walk, The donkey couldn't believe, it didn't accept the fact that it was able to walk. It's quite fascinating that this is our own condition. Let's try to unravel this a bit more with the wisdom of Advaita Vedanta. In Advaita Vedanta, we are taught that our true nature is not this limited body or mind. Our true nature is the Atman, pure, changeless, and ever free. But because of Maya, there is an illusion of duality, and this truth gets covered, and the result is that we get identified with the small self, the ego. This identification is the imaginary rope which keeps us bound. We get identified and attached to our fears, insecurities, and identities. We say to ourselves, I am not good enough, I'll never be free, I'm stuck in this situation. And then we take these stories to the next level. What will people say? How will they judge me? And so on and so forth. But in reality, these stories are just as imaginary as the rope which was holding the donkey. And the moment we are able to see the truth, to pierce through this illusion, the rope disappears because there never was any rope. We too can become free, and this freedom is moksha, liberation, freedom while living, right here, right now. And the crucial point is that to get to this freedom, you don't have to travel a distance in space or time. The understanding is that you were always free. The ropes were always imaginary. They were the creation of your own mind, your ignorance, and your habits. And the second part of the story, where the washerman had to again act as if untying the rope, that too gives us another interesting insight. See, Advaita Vedanta is simply a description of truth. So some people might ask, why then do we have to practice? But you have to, because this bondage is the only reality you know. This limitation, this search for external validation, this race to get ahead of others, this attraction towards daily dopamine hits, these are the only habits which we know. We have no concept of the possibility of there being another way of living. And so somebody has to remove the rope and keep on doing that until one day you realize you were always free in any case. So, what does this mean for you and me? What did the donkey teach us? It means that the freedom we seek is already within us. The limitations which we feel are never real. They are imaginary, just like that rope. They are a product of our conditioning, our habits, and this illusion of duality which we believe to be real. If we can see through the illusion, we can reclaim our true nature. And if this concept feels alien to you, just move step by step with an open mind and an unburdened curiosity. See where that road leads you to. Read the Vedantic texts, practice diligently, and really come alive with your own experience. Articulate your questions and contemplate your doubts. The change in perspective is so near that it is almost unbelievable, and sometimes maybe a leap of faith might be required, not mandatory, but worth a try. Just like the donkey, all we need is the realization and acknowledgement that there are no ropes. And the moment we stop believing in the illusion of bondage is the moment when we step into true freedom. Remember, it is not that with knowledge ropes disappear. There never were any ropes. Until next time, good luck.